The morning air was thick with smoke before Amara even reached the village. A scream split the silence, high and sharp, cutting through the birdsong. She ran faster, her bag of letters bouncing against her back, the strap burning into her shoulder. Flames licked the wooden walls of a small house, smoke curling like black fingers toward the sky. Someone shouted inside. A child's cry followed. Without hesitation, Amara leaped over a fallen fence post, boots digging into the scorched earth. Her heart pounded not from fear but urgency. She had faced storms, thieves and wild beasts on her routes, but this fire was alive, unpredictable and deadly. "Hold on. I'm coming," she yelled. Her voice barely carried over the crackling wood. She could see the small boy near the back door, trapped by a wall of flames that threatened to collapse at any second. Heat stung her face, sweat mixed with soot, but she didn't falter. Amara grabbed a long pole nearby and shoved it through the doorframe, testing the flames. The wood resisted, burning her gloves instantly. A beam above her snapped with a loud crack, showering sparks down around her. She ducked instinctively, rolling to avoid the embers. The boy screamed again and she clenched her jaw. There was no time to hesitate. Using all her strength, she kicked the door open, the charred hinges shrieking. Smoke filled her lungs, burning, yet she kept moving. She reached for the boy. His small body shook, eyes wide, tears streaking his soot-darkened face. "I'm here," she whispered, scooping him up. Every instinct screamed to run, but the building groaned ominously, warning of collapse. Then she noticed it, a shadow flicking past the corner of her vision. Her pulse jumped. Something enormous moved just outside, wings stretching in patterns she had never seen before. Its scales glimmered in the morning light, gold and green shifting like fire on water. Amara froze for a heartbeat, but only for a heartbeat. There was no time for awe. She darted toward the side exit, dragging the boy with her. Sparks rained down and a burning beam crashed where they had been moments before. The creature emerged from the smoke. It didn't roar. It didn't attack. It simply hovered, massive wings beating slowly, golden eyes locked on her. The air vibrated with power she had never felt, like the world itself was holding its breath. Amara ran, feet pounding the dirt path, boy clinging to her neck. She glanced over her shoulder. The dragon, she had no other word for it, raised its head. A sudden jet of flame shot upward, far away from them, scorching the sky into a streak of orange and red. Villagers stopped, mouths open. Horses neighed. Dogs barked in fear. The flame wasn't meant for her, yet it startled everyone. Even the boy let out a shaky gasp. They stumbled onto the open field beyond the burning house. Amara dropped the boy gently, wrapping her arms around him. He looked up at her, coughing, terror slowly giving way to relief. "You saved me?" he whispered. Amara nodded, chest heaving. "I promised I would." Behind them, the shadow moved again. The dragon turned its massive head, wings curling, and stared directly at Amara. Its gaze wasn't hostile, but it was intense, curious, as if it understood something she didn't. A strange warmth pulsed from its eyes, and for a moment she felt an unspoken connection, one that stirred questions she couldn't yet answer. Why was it here? Why didn't it attack? What did it want? Smoke still billowed, burning embers drifting across the field, but the danger was only partially over. Amara helped the boy to his feet, scanning the horizon. The dragon had vanished as quickly as it appeared, leaving only a faint shimmer in the morning light. She glanced down at the boy. His small hand squeezed hers. "Will it come back?" he asked. Amara didn't answer right away. Her eyes narrowed toward the distant treeline, where shadows shifted oddly. Something told her this was not the last she'd see of that creature. Whatever it was watching, learning, waiting. And somehow she had already become part of whatever game it was playing. The village was alive with panic, but she had a decision to make. She could wait with the boy, safe for now, or continue her route, deliver the letters, and perhaps step even closer to whatever mystery the dragon had unleashed. The wind carried a faint metallic scent, almost like ozone, across the field. A shiver ran down her spine. She realized the world had changed in a single morning, and the letters she carried were now more than just messages. They were keys to something far larger. Amara straightened, eyes burning with resolve. She would not turn back. Not now. Not ever. Then from the ridge above, a low, vibrating hum rose through the air. The boy froze. Amara's heart skipped. Something enormous moved in the clouds, something bigger than the dragon she had seen. Its shadow stretched across the village, dark and impossible. She gritted her teeth. Whatever it was, her next steps would matter, not just for her, not just for the boy, but for everything in the empire. Her hand tightened around the straps of her bag. The fire at dawn had saved lives, but it had also awakened something, and she could feel it watching. Amara didn't wait. The hum in the sky lingered, vibrating through her bones as she adjusted the straps of her mail bag. The boy clung to her side, trembling, but she gave him a small, steadying nod. "We have to move. Stay close." Her voice carried no fear, only purpose. The fire had been terrifying, but this was something she had to face with courage. The village beyond the burning house was chaos. Villagers ran, dragging carts and livestock, shouting over each other. Smoke hung low in the air, and the smell of charred wood and scorched earth stung her nose. A horse whinnied as it bolted past, kicking up dust. Every step Amara took was measured, keeping the boy safe while scanning the horizon. She needed to deliver the letters. Her route was not optional. The Empire depended on them whether anyone knew it or not. Then she saw them, shadows, massive and moving in coordinated arcs above the mountains. Dragons. Hundreds of them, scales glinting in the sunlight, circling in a silent, intimidating sweep. Villagers screamed, scattering in panic. Even Amara's stomach twisted at the sight, but she did not falter. Her mind raced. Every dragon's movement seemed purposeful. She had never seen such precision. They weren't attacking yet, but they were watching, waiting. The boy whispered, voice trembling. "Amara, they're going to burn us too." She shook her head. "No, they're not attacking. Not yet. But we have to get moving fast." Amara remembered the letter still in her bag, stamped with the seal of the Dragon Council. It was urgent. Something about a rising threat in the northern provinces and instructions only the council could act on. Her hand instinctively went to the strap, clutching it tightly. If she delayed, hundreds of lives could be lost. Her decision was made. She would deliver it herself. No one else could. Not the villagers, not the soldiers. The dragons might not even allow anyone else to approach. Taking a deep breath, she began moving through the chaos, weaving between fleeing villagers, dodging carts and broken beams. The boy held firmly against her chest. A low rumble cut through the air. Amara froze, chest tight. The nearest dragon had descended, wings stretching wide, shadowing the field. Its eyes locked onto her. Every instinct screamed danger, but she held her ground, keeping her voice calm. "We're just passing," she said, though the dragon could not understand her words. Yet something in the golden glow of its eyes shifted. The dragon lowered its massive head and without warning bowed. The villagers gasped. The boy's eyes went wide. It bowed to you," he whispered. Amara's pulse raced. She didn't understand why it had done so, but she recognized one thing clearly: courage and calmness could reach even a creature of this size and power. Other dragons began to notice. Their massive heads turned, scanning her, measuring her. A few flapped their wings threateningly, but none advanced. It was as if some silent recognition rippled through the ranks. Amara's mind raced. Was this instinct? Magic? Some ancient pact she had never been taught? Questions surged, but there was no time to ponder. She had a mission. She adjusted the boy's grip, urging him forward. "Keep moving. Don't look back." They ran toward the ridge, a shortcut across the hills that would put them closer to the Dragon Council's messenger route. Sparks from falling debris and residual fire cracked underfoot. Every step carried danger. Every glance over her shoulder revealed another dragon watching, calculating. Suddenly a screech cut through the air. A dragon swooped low, barely missing the ridge, its wingtip brushing the soil and sending the boy stumbling. Amara caught him instantly. Her heart pounded. She gritted her teeth. "Steady. We're almost there." She leaped over a narrow chasm, landing hard, rolling to absorb the impact. The boy gasped, clinging to her tightly. Then, from above, a shadow moved faster than any dragon should have. It was massive, bigger than the one she had seen the morning before. Its wings were enormous, blacker than smoke, and it radiated power. Amara froze for a fraction of a second, then remembered the letters. She could not stop. With the boy pressed against her chest, she sprinted, using every ounce of strength, adrenaline coursing through her veins. The mysterious creature followed at a distance, gliding silently, its presence more terrifying than any fire. Yet, as they ran, another unexpected moment occurred. The smaller dragon that had bowed to her earlier now circled low, as if shielding them. Others followed suit. Amara's heart leapt. Somehow, the dragons recognized her as a messenger, a human of worth. She had no idea why, but their actions bought her a precious few minutes. By the time they reached a safer ridge, overlooking the valley below, Amara allowed herself a brief breath. The boy, still trembling, whispered, They're helping us? She nodded, unsure herself, but relief flickered. Courage, quick thinking, and determination had earned a fragile alliance, however temporary. Her bag was heavier now with the weight of possibility. The letters were not just messages, they were keys, potentially capable of controlling events far larger than this village, perhaps even the dragons themselves. Every step forward mattered. Every choice could mean life or death. Amara's eyes scanned the horizon. The hum from the sky lingered, the shadow of the massive unknown still present. A shiver ran down her spine. Whatever this was, it was not finished. And whatever awaited at the Dragon Council, she knew one thing clearly: the morning fire had only been the beginning. Something far greater was coming, and she was already in its path. She tightened her grip on the boy and ran again. The dragons watched silently, a storm of wings circling around them. And in the clouds above, the dark, massive shadow shifted, tilting slightly as if acknowledging her presence, and maybe testing it. Amara's jaw set. This was no longer just a delivery. It was a mission that could change everything. And the world was watching. The ridge offered no safety. Amara's boots sank into loose stones as she ran, the boy clinging tightly to her side. The massive shadow from the clouds lingered, moving unnaturally fast, its presence pressing down on her chest like a weight she could not lift. She didn't look back, not yet. She had no time. Every step mattered. Ahead, the narrow mountain pass twisted like a serpent. She knew it well from her mail routes, but never with dragons circling and some unknown force hunting her from above. The letters pressed against her back, heavy and important. They weren't just mail anymore, they were a lifeline. A single mistake, a misstep, and everything could be lost. A screech echoed through the canyon. Amara froze, hand on the boy's shoulder. A smaller dragon, one she had seen bow to her earlier, had landed on a crag above the path. Its golden eyes met hers. It didn't attack. It tilted its head, watching as if urging her forward. The boy gasped. "It wants us to go that way?" Amara nodded. Somehow, instinctively, she trusted it. Courage and careful observation had carried her this far. She moved, keeping the boy close, her eyes scanning every shadow, every ledge. That's when she saw it, an almost invisible shimmer along the cliffside. Alien artifacts embedded in the rocks. They pulsed faintly, a soft blue glow as if alive. Amara crouched briefly, curiosity fighting fear. Her fingers brushed against one, and a faint vibration shot up her arm. A strange hum filled her ears. She realized the artifacts reacted to the dragon's movement. Every beat of their wings made the glow flare. It was a language, a pattern. Not words but meaning. Her heart raced. This is why they're here, she whispered to herself. The dragons weren't just wild creatures, they were connected to this place. To something older than the Empire itself. The letters she carried suddenly felt heavier with responsibility. If she could decode these signals, she could navigate safely. Fail and the path could kill them all. She tested the rhythm, stepping carefully, moving in sync with the subtle vibrations. Sparks of blue danced along the rocks where her hands brushed, guiding her forward like a glowing breadcrumb trail. The boy stared wide-eyed. "Are you doing magic?" Amara shook her head, though even she felt as if she were bending something unseen. "Not magic," she said. "Understanding." She had never known anything like this, yet her mind snapped into focus. Observation, logic, timing, everything mattered. One wrong step could trigger a rockslide or anger a dragon. Halfway through the pass, a sudden roar shook the cliffs. A dragon had misstepped, wings scraping a ledge and rocks tumbled dangerously close. Amara reacted instantly, pushing the boy behind her and kicking a smaller stone into the gap, diverting its fall. The boy clung to her neck, gasping, and she felt the heat of adrenaline burn through her veins. Every decision here was life or death. Then a movement caught her eye, a small wriggling shape tucked under a ledge. An egg, not more than the size of a large basket, cracked open with a sudden snap. A tiny dragon emerged, scales shimmering silver with hints of gold. It blinked, then looked directly at Amara. The boy whispered, "It's looking at you." The hatchling stepped forward and, without fear, pressed against her leg. Its small roar was not threatening but melodic, almost like a recognition. Amara froze, heart hammering. Every instinct screamed that she had just triggered something important. Somehow this small creature recognized her, not as a threat but as someone significant. The larger dragons above shifted, their wings beating in unison. A ripple of motion passed through the skies, synchronized with the pulsing artifacts in the cliffs. Amara realized something incredible. The dragons and the artifacts were linked. And she had just proven herself worthy of their attention. Worthy of trust. A strange calm settled over her. Her mind raced. If this tiny hatchling could bond so instantly, could it mean the dragons had an entire network, a hierarchy, and she had just found the key? She scooped up the baby dragon gently, careful not to startle it. Its wings fluttered against her chest, warm and surprisingly strong. The boy's eyes sparkled with wonder. You saved it. Amara nodded, but even as relief washed over her, a new tension rose. The unknown shadow from the clouds still lingered, its presence more pressing than ever. This moment of success, of connection, felt fragile. One wrong move and all of her careful progress could unravel. She glanced at the path ahead, twisting, narrow, and full of unseen threats. Then the artifacts flared brighter, reacting to the baby dragon. Blue light streaked along the rocks like lightning, illuminating carvings she hadn't noticed before. Symbols, maps, warnings. She realized the Empire's dragons had been guarding this secret for centuries, and she, a human, had just been allowed into it. Her pulse quickened. Could humans be part of this network? Could she actually influence it? A sudden screech tore through the canyon, louder and more urgent than before. One of the larger dragons above dove toward them, not in attack but as if to signal danger. Amara tightened her grip on the hatchling and the boy, eyes scanning the sky. She understood instinctively, the path ahead would be far more dangerous than anything she had faced, but this moment, this bond, gave her an advantage no one else could claim. And then from the ridge above a low, vibrating hum shook the cliffside. The shadow shifted, stretching its enormous wings across the pass. It was bigger than any dragon she had seen. Bigger than the hatchling, bigger than the entire ridge. Amara froze for a heartbeat, but her grip on courage and determination snapped her into action. The artifacts pulsed in response to the baby dragon, casting streaks of light across the rocks. A plan formed in her mind. This creature, whatever it was testing her. It wanted to see if she could navigate the path, understand the dragons, survive the trials. She tightened her jaw. She would not fail. Not the boy. Not the dragons. Not herself. With a deep breath, Amara stepped forward, hatchling in arms, ready to move through the dangerous pass. Every nerve screamed danger, every instinct demanded caution, but she felt the thrill of possibility, the sense that she could do the impossible. The shadow above stretched wider, wings beating slow and deliberate, and the hum rose in intensity. Amara's pulse raced. The moment of turning, of choice had arrived. One wrong step and all could end. But one right step, and the Empire itself might shift in ways no human had ever imagined. Her eyes met the baby dragon's glowing scales. The path ahead was deadly, but she was no longer just a messenger. She had become something else entirely. And the shadow was watching. The narrow pass ended abruptly at the edge of a jagged cliff. Beyond it lay the sky citadel, floating above the northern valley, shimmering in the morning light. Its golden spires reflected the sun, but Amara barely saw them. The shadow still lingered above, immense and dark, wings stretching wider than anything she had ever imagined. Its hum vibrated through the air, shaking loose stones from the cliffs. Amara tightened her grip on the baby dragon, its tiny body warm against her chest. The boy clutched her waist, wide-eyed, fear and awe mixed on his face. "Amara, it's huge." "Yes," she said, voice steady though her heart pounded. "But we have to move." She scanned the horizon. The citadel was under attack. Smaller raiders, sleek alien crafts armed with energy weapons, swooped around the towers, firing bursts that sent sparks and smoke into the sky. Dragons from the Empire circled overhead, but confusion and fear kept them from forming a proper defense. The letters in her bag felt heavier than ever. Delivering them could be the difference between survival and total annihilation. Amara made her decision instantly. She could not wait for the dragons to organize themselves. She would lead them. With a deep breath, she whispered to the baby dragon, "We fly." She placed it on her arm, and it instinctively spread its wings, matching the rhythm of the larger dragons circling above. The others noticed. One by one, they lowered their heads, eyes glowing gold as if recognizing her command. The boy clutched her tighter, gasping. Amara sprinted to the cliff's edge, ignoring the roar of wind and the hum of the massive shadow. With a leap, she soared into the air, baby dragon flapping frantically. A larger dragon swooped beneath her, guiding her upward, wings beating in sync. The boy screamed in exhilaration and terror, but Amara held him steady. The shadow reacted immediately. It dove toward them, wings slicing the air with terrifying speed. Its roar was deafening, shaking her bones. Amara's stomach flipped, but she forced herself to focus. She could not panic. Every instinct, every ounce of courage she possessed, had to be sharper than fear. Below, the raiders struck again. Dragons dodged, fire erupted, and the citadel trembled. Amara shouted, not at the boy, not at the dragons, but at the moment itself, "We will not fail." Her voice carried through the sky, a rallying cry that seemed to ignite the dragons' courage. One by one, the dragons followed her lead. They dove into the raiders, weaving between laser blasts and energy shields, attacking with precision no human could have imagined. Amara maneuvered the baby dragon through the chaos, dodging debris, fire, and falling shards of metal. Every move she made inspired another dragon to act. Then the massive shadow struck. It descended like a storm, wings blocking the sun, flames lancing from its mouth. Amara froze for a fraction of a second, then remembered the patterns in the cliffs, the artifacts, the hatchling, the recognition she had earned. This creature respected strength, intelligence, and courage. She had to prove herself. With the boy pressed against her chest, she shouted, "Follow me," and veered sharply toward the citadel's highest spire. The smaller dragons mirrored her path, creating a defensive wave around the raiders. The massive shadow roared and swerved, reacting to her maneuver. It became clear, the creature wasn't trying to kill her. It was testing her. She dove, the baby dragon flapping furiously toward the spire. Sparks rained down as energy blasts struck near them. Amara's heart hammered. One wrong move could end everything. She reached the spire and slammed the letters into the council's chamber door, sending a signal to the dragons below. Almost instantly, the Empire's dragons responded. They lunged with coordinated precision, scattering the raiders, forcing them into retreat. The citadel's defenses, dormant until now, activated, energy barriers flaring to life. Amara's quick action, bravery, and understanding of the dragons had turned the tide in moments. The massive shadow hovered above, wings folding slowly, eyes glowing gold. Amara stared back, chest heaving, adrenaline pumping. For a brief instant, she understood. She had earned its attention, its respect. The dragons bowed, not in submission but in acknowledgement. She was no longer just a human delivering letters. She was a commander, a bridge between humans and dragons, the spark of a new order. The boy hugged her tightly, whispering, You did it." Amara smiled, though sweat and soot streaked her face. "We did it," she corrected. The dragons circled above, golden eyes gleaming, their power now aligned with a human's courage. But even as relief washed over her, the massive shadow shifted again, stretching its wings darker than ever. A deep, resonating hum vibrated through the air. It wasn't finished. Whatever lay beyond, the reason it had been watching, was still out there. The citadel was safe for now, but the world beyond promised even greater challenges. Amara tightened her grip on the baby dragon and looked toward the horizon, where clouds swirled unnaturally. The hum rose, vibrating through her bones, a reminder that victory here was only temporary. Something larger, more powerful was coming. And she would be ready. Her chest swelled with determination. She had faced fire, dragons, and unknown shadows. She had acted decisively, saved lives, and earned the loyalty of creatures bigger and stronger than any human. Now nothing could stop her resolve. The Empire, and the skies above it, would know that humans could rise when courage, intelligence, and empathy led the way. And somewhere beyond the clouds, a new challenge waited, watching, testing, and waiting for the right moment to strike. Amara's eyes narrowed. She was ready. The morning sun glinted off the citadel's golden spires, casting long shadows across the valley. Smoke from the earlier fires still lingered, curling into the sky, but the village below was safe and the raiders were gone. Amara stood at the edge of the highest terrace, the boy by her side, the baby dragon perched on her shoulder. She took a deep breath, letting herself feel the moment. Relief, pride, and exhaustion mingled in her chest. Around them, dragons of every size and color circled, wings outstretched, eyes glowing with intelligence and recognition. They hovered silently, not in fear, not in aggression, but in acknowledgement. Amara had earned their respect through courage, decisiveness, and heart. No human before her had ever commanded such loyalty. The boy whispered, "Amara, they all bowed to you." She smiled softly, brushing soot from his hair. "We earned it together. Courage isn't just mine, it's everyone's." She looked at the dragons circling below. Even the massive shadow that had haunted them earlier hovered at a distance, watching. Its immense wings stretched wide, golden light glinting off the edges. It had not attacked. It had tested her. And now it waited. Amara knelt, gently letting the baby dragon crawl onto the terrace. Its wings fluttered as it explored, tiny scales shimmering silver and gold. She realized the hatchling was not just a creature, it was a bridge. Through it, she could communicate with the dragons, understand them, and perhaps guide them in ways no one else could. Her role in the Empire had changed forever. From below, villagers emerged cautiously, eyes wide. They had witnessed something extraordinary, but none dared approach too closely. Amara held up her hand. "It's okay," she called. "They've seen me. They know I mean no harm." Slowly the villagers nodded, some kneeling instinctively as the dragons hovered above, bowing their massive heads. Whispers of awe spread through the crowd. One of the larger dragons descended, landing with a soft thud on the terrace. Its golden eyes met hers, and in that gaze, Amara felt a profound understanding. Humans were fragile, but they were also resilient. Brave, compassionate, determined. And when a human acted with courage and heart, even creatures far older and stronger could recognize it. Amara rose to her full height, voice steady. "This is only the beginning. We have to work together, humans and dragons. We have to protect the Empire and each other." A ripple of acceptance passed through the dragons. Wings shifted, eyes gleamed, and for a brief moment, the air vibrated with unspoken unity. The boy looked up at her, awe still in his eyes. Do you think the big one will come back?" Amara glanced toward the clouds where the massive shadow had disappeared. Her stomach twisted slightly, a mix of anticipation and caution. "Yes," she said softly, "and when it does, we'll be ready." She understood now that this creature, older, larger, and more powerful than any dragon she had seen, was a part of something far bigger. A challenge beyond imagination. But she would face it. She had no choice, and more importantly, she had the courage to do so. She glanced at the baby dragon perched on her shoulder. Its small, warm body radiated trust. It had chosen her. And in that choice lay a bond that could change the course of the Empire. Amara realized that humans were not just messengers or observers in this world, they were catalysts. Their actions could inspire loyalty, courage, and unity even in beings that seemed impossible to control. Her mind wandered to the letters she had carried that morning, now delivered and acknowledged. Each one had mattered. Each one had been a key, unlocking doors to alliances and understanding that no army or weapon could achieve alone. And through her choices, her decisiveness, and her courage, she had turned a delivery mission into a turning point for the entire Empire. The dragons shifted above her, wings beating in silent applause. The boy clutched her hand. "Amara, what happens now?" She smiled, looking out over the valley, the citadel, and the circling dragons. "Now we learn. We grow. We prepare. And when the shadow comes back, we show it what humans are capable of." Her gaze hardened with resolve. "We won't just survive. We'll rise." A faint shimmer in the clouds caught her eye. The massive shadow had not disappeared entirely. Its outline twisted, wings shifting like liquid gold, eyes glowing faintly through the mist. It had been observing, waiting, testing. And it would return. But Amara was ready. The dragons recognized her. The baby dragon was with her. And the Empire, fragile yet resilient, had a new champion. A human who had shown that courage, intelligence, and heart could command respect even from the impossible. She looked down at the boy, then to the baby dragon, then toward the horizon. A thrill ran through her chest. Adventures lay ahead. Challenges, battles, mysteries, and creatures beyond comprehension. The shadow above was only the first. Amara tightened her grip on the baby dragon. "The Empire is safe today," she whispered. "But tomorrow we face the unknown." The wind carried the faint hum of the massive shadow, echoing like a distant drumbeat. Amara smiled, adrenaline and determination coursing through her veins. She had earned her place. She had earned their trust. And she would face whatever came next. As the dragons circled in perfect formation, bowing and shifting in synchronized rhythm, Amara felt something profound. Humans were not small or weak in this universe. They were catalysts, leaders, champions. She had proved it, and the Empire would remember. And somewhere in the clouds above, a greater mystery waited, one that would test her again, but this time she was ready. The hum of wings, the glint of golden eyes, and the shimmer of the unknown all whispered the same promise. This was only the beginning. Amara's jaw set. She had saved lives, united dragons, and changed the Empire. And the next adventure was already coming.